Alright, just back from the gym. I did take my little GoPro type of camera with me. Let me get rid of these glasses because I don't need to look at myself anyway, right? It's distracting. Because I've had some inquiries about what I'm doing for triceps. Specifically how my triceps are so thick and the outer head is so big. And that would make a good video because there are specific things that I've been doing. I have 3 different triceps workouts and I rotate them. I have one really, really heavy tricep workout and then I have 2 other workouts. One is more volume and it's more volume and less weight. More of a variety of exercises in one of the workouts. You know, one really heavy workout that's a free weight, heavy workout. I go at a slower pace. I don't need as much volume, but the intensity's got to be there. You got to put the workload on the muscle you're trying to train. And like I said, the other workout is a higher volume workout. More sets, more reps, higher reps, and a greater variety of exercises. And then the third workout that I do is a higher intensity workout again, but it's a lot of giant sets. So it's like a giant set workout. It's like 3 exercises back to back, bang, 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 rest, bang, 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 rest, all 3 tricep exercises. And they're at the same piece of equipment, so it's not like you got to run all over the place, right? But the big main mass builder that's made, well, the other exercises, because of the specific movements I'm utilizing, they pretty much work together to develop that outer head or to overdevelop that outer head like I've been trying to specify, and it's been working. Anyway, I wanted to get some of that videoed and just happened to be I was going to do triceps today and I was going to do, a moderately stressful chest workout today first. I only do heavy flat bench once every 3 weeks. So it's more than once a month, as the rotation comes around, but it's once every 3 weeks I go heavy flat. And again, it's just like I told you before. When I videotape the workout, I'll show you exactly how I do it, set for set, rep for rep. But the accent there is on recovery between sets and working up to maximum poundages. And then because of my age and because of some shoulder damage that I've previously inflicted upon myself, I don't want to do that any more than, once every 3 weeks. And the other thing is, I can't be tempted or drawn into repping out with a weight. Even something moderately heavy that's not really heavy, like 315 for instance. I could do sets of 15 reps, like with good form, can pause 15 reps with 315, but I can't do it. And it feels good to do it. It feels really good to do something like that, but I can't let myself get carried away and do that because that's how I'll get hurt. For me, as an older guy, that's where I'll get hurt. If I'm careful and I warm up slowly and I move up slowly and I don't overload the chest yet, I can build up to some pretty heavy, doubles or singles, and really push the limits a little bit, which I've been doing. And that way I've been bringing back some strength without hurting my shoulder. However, today, and again, this is when it always happens, is when you make compromises. I went in and the bench that I needed for my next movement, which was I was three exercises in, right? So many sets, whatever, but 3 exercises in. And the next movement I wanted to perform, I needed an incline bench, and there weren't any incline benches available. So I decided to do military presses in a way that I've started to do them, where I'm leaning way back, and kind of trying to bring out these upper collarbones here, trying to bring this development out here. And it works really well, but I have to lean way back. So what I use is, a seated bench, 90-degree seat, and I can lean way over the back of that bench and get up under the bar, my back arched, and push up. And It wasn't crazy heavy. I had 225 on the bar, but I hurt my shoulder a little bit. I tweaked it a little bit. Not bad, but stupidly, I felt it and I was like, And I just shifted the weight a little bit to put actually a little more of it on my right side because it was the left shoulder. And, I still did a couple more reps just to feel. And then I put it back, which the smart thing to do, what you really are supposed to do is as soon as you feel something doesn't feel right, re-rack the weight, you're done. Don't do any more with that, on that body part. Don't put any more stress on where you think you might have just aggravated something. But, so it's not really injured bad. I went ahead and finished my workout, did some lighter stuff behind that, and then I did my triceps, but I couldn't do the tricep workout I wanted to do. I wanted to do my really heavy tricep workout. I couldn't do that one anyway because it would have involved too much overhead stuff with heavy weight. So it is what it is. But what I want to say to you guys is if you're trying to build mass, listen, avoid those machines. Avoid them like the plague. Or you can rotate your workouts like I do, Depending on how frequently you're in the gym versus how many rest days you have, whether you're enhanced, whether you're not enhanced, how good your diet is, how good your rest is, how good your hydration is, how good you are at supplementing all the micronutrients you need, you're not going to get them from food. It's not going to happen. You're not going to eat enough food that you're going to get all the micronutrients that you need. It's not going to happen, or all the antioxidants. If you are getting enough antioxidants and micronutrients, then you're compromising your diet. You're not getting enough protein and carbohydrates and fats. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. The numbers just aren't going to bear out because the volume of material and food you have to eat to really be able to put size on it's a lot. So that's why supplements come in. And a supplement is just something you take in lieu of doing something more complicated to make life easier. And it's like I showed you, the beech nut stuff that I use out of the baby food aisle, the powdered shit, which I forgot to buy today. I'm almost out of that shit. That you can just mix in with some protein in the morning and drink it. That's like 60 grams of carbs right down a hatch. Very easy. Doesn't feel like you've consumed anything. Now, you're not getting a bunch of fiber, but you don't want a bunch of fiber if you're trying to gain mass. If you're trying to gain mass, you want minimum fiber because the higher fibrous foods are more expensive calorically for you to digest and absorb and all that shit. Right? So you want to make every little bit count. Believe me, you're going to need, as you put more size on, you have to eat more. The amount of food that got you here to this newly gained 5 pounds or whatever you've put on, that food is just maintenance food now. You got to step it up again. You got to ratchet that intake up so that you can get that next 5 pounds. And if you continue to do that, and you continue to, it's just like, incrementally increasing the resistance with your weights. It's the same thing with the food. It's the same thing with the food. Like I told you before, when you're done eating, you're done growing. It's just the way it is, So the best thing that I could advise you to do, and also so you don't go to the poorhouse just over a hobby, is you need to supplement some. I'm not saying a bunch of crazy supplements that you go to a health food store and buy, supplement store, pay a bunch of money for. But as far as protein powders, don't cheap out. Don't cheap out. You need to have a really good whey isolate. Is a really good one. Is always going to have digestive enzymes in there so that you're going to be able to digest that shit. Otherwise, you're not going to digest it. And you're going to get gassy and you're going to have all kind of issues. People that complain about that, that's because you're eating shitty protein. You're eating cheap protein. So there is a difference, in good protein and cheap protein. So yeah, I utilize it. Now I know there are guys out there with awesome physiques that are plenty muscular that don't use protein powders. They're getting it all from food. And maybe they're spending more money than I'm spending. I don't know. But this is the way that I do it. And it works great for me. The other thing is, I want to tax my digestive system minimally. You know what I mean? You're still overloading it. You're overloading it because you're overeating on purpose. So you're overloading it. Okay, as a younger guy, you might get by with that, depending on your food choices. If your food choices are real shitty, like you're eating a pound of bacon a day or some fucking garbage like this, you may have serious problems. You may end up with a blockage or some kind of, you may take a trip to the hospital eventually. I've seen it happen if you're eating enough food and it's like that. But you have to use some common sense. But if you're an older guy, particularly, you don't want to overburden any system in your body anymore because it's all high mileage. It's like having a car with 100,000 miles on it. Car can be very reliable. It may have another 100,000 miles in it, but if you're wise, you're not going to drive that car like you would if it were a brand new car. Maybe you're going to take into consideration anyway that it has higher mileage. Make life a little easier on it. Same with your body. So that's why, when I supplement or augment, because some people think supplements is a dirty word, and supplements don't always come from a health food store. Like I said, the beech nut stuff from the baby food aisle that I use with the rice or the oatmeal. Okay, that's because that shit's super easy to digest, rapidly absorbed, easy to digest. All right, so like with oatmeal, period. The cheap oatmeal, instant oatmeal, in the little cups, containers, the Quaker that you just pour some water in, put it in the microwave, you got oatmeal. That is, if you're talking about those oatmeals, I'm not talking about the baby shit now. Baby shit's even less work to digest. But if you're talking about that, out of your choices of oatmeal, that's going to be your easiest to digest and absorb. That's the easiest. Now, if you're trying to get lean, that's shit oatmeal. That's not a good choice. If you're trying to get lean. Trying to get big, good choice. Trying to get lean, no. Because the next thing you're going to have would be like a steel cut oat or something like that. Real oatmeal, right? Or quick oats is going to be a bump up. Quick oats be a bump up from that shit, from the Quaker instant. And then real regular oatmeal like steel oats or something like that is going to be like the ultimate. Which is going to require even more work for your body to digest and absorb. Yeah. So it's all about fiber, taxing your system, making it work, burning up calories with the food choices to get lean. Okay, you guys already know this. To get big, you want to make life easy, you want to make life simple. Now you can do it however you want to do it. Go to hard road, I don't care. It's up to you. Spend twice the money you need to spend. The reason you need to be aware, don't try to be some kind of baller, is because it will get costly. If you're successful and you really want to get really big, and you're not happy with just gaining, X amount, you want X amount, okay, then you're going to have to keep turning it. And if you have a good grip on this and you understand why you make particular choices, you'll be able to more economically do this. And not only economically dollars-wise, but economically on the burden and taxation of your systems in your body. Let me tell you something. If I ate high-quality, whole, fibrous, dense foods, and that's what I was eating now at the rate that I'm eating, or have been eating, I'd be spending a lot more money, and it would be a lot harder on my body. I wouldn't be able to eat as much. The numbers wouldn't be the same. I'd be lower. So that's why, I go with these options that are going to make life easier, quicker, simpler, cheaper even. Anyway, here I am now. I got tuna fish in here. I got eggs in here, and I got the noodles in here. Just got back from the gym. I've already had 50 grams of protein, and now I'm having this right behind it. Drank down to 50 grams, the easy digesting way, and now I got this. Because that didn't fill me up because it's high quality protein, didn't bloat me, and so now I have time to I have room to put a meal in. The other thing is another little thing to consider is you want to get under the real weight. You don't want to be on these machines, trying to overload these machines, especially what I see some guys do with cables that are trying to gain mass. They're over there on all these cables, and they're putting so much weight on there that they're really using too much body English. They're really throwing everything. It's so far out of the intended line of, or out of the intended groove, that you should be in, the arc, the swing, the curvature, whatever you're trying to do, depending on what kind of movement you're doing, right? It's so far outside of that and so distorted that you're trying to turn somewhat primarily isolation exercise into a compound movement. That's what you're doing. And so if you're going to do that, all you're doing is overtaxing your joints that way. Where you would be better, you would actually literally tax your joints less if you went under a free weight. Instead of doing all that contorting and swinging and right body English on a machine, especially cables, I see it all the time. Get your ass under some free weight. I mean, yeah, there are guys with shitty form on free weights too. But I can assure you one thing. Your form on the free weights is going to be, there's only so shitty that form can get to, you know. Whereas with the machines, I believe the potential there to do more harm on your joints or to create a chronic issue is more readily there for you to achieve if you're one of those guys that lifts like that. So get over there, pay your dues on the free weights. In fact, if you do nothing but free weights, if you're healthy, if you're young and you do nothing but free weights, dumbbells, barbell movements for your mass gain workout, right? For your mass gain workouts, you're going to be in good shape with that. You're going to be good with that. Older guys, just pay attention to that form. Make sure the movements are much more controlled and deliberate. What I mean by deliberate, when I've said deliberate in the past, people said, well, of course it's deliberate. I mean, you're intentionally moving the weight. No. Some people, their form are so shitty, the weight goes where the weight goes sometimes. You know, all out of its intended path and all kinds of shit. You don't want that behavior, especially an older guy. You can't afford it. Accidents can happen very easily. And most of the time they happen from shitty form. Most of the time. You know, most injuries could be very easily prevented because you've lived in the body all this time. You know what's going on. You can feel what's right and what's not right. You know, just stop. If it's not right, don't do it. It's simple. I guess that's all I got to say for now. I got to eat this. I don't like to eat while I'm talking because I'm going to spit food everywhere. I got it all hanging in my fucking beard and all this other shit. Forgive my language, please. But I'll be back again. I got something else I want to talk about, so I'll be back shortly. Go eat something or go lift something.